Hey, good evening. As you can maybe see, it's kind of hazy. So this morning I woke up and somehow I thought, oh, the wind of change. There's a good number of things that I want to speak about regarding change, but I choose to make a little confession today because that is just one topic, like one clear thing I can talk about, because I think otherwise this is going to turn into a 1 hour video. So, so the little confession is that over the course of the last few days, my morning routine has become shorter. The meditation happened every day, but it got a little bit shorter. From 1 hour it became less, and then the Qigong and the stretching and the breath work, some pranayama that I had started, also became less. And for me, it started because of a climbing job that I took up, which got my mind quite engaged, and I guess a sense of challenge, like how do I do it? But it's an interesting thing as well, as to up to what point is it really that, or is it the mind actually just using that as an excuse and going like, oh, you know what? No, let's. So why I want to talk about it is, in contrast, today I went back to the full thing, which this morning took me 3 hours. And just side by side, the experience of yesterday, for example, and the experience of today, I've just noticed such a big difference, and that's why I want to share it. So, what I notice, for me, habits click very quickly. Most people say that for any habit to really stick, it takes about 3 weeks. For me personally, I have more the feeling that it takes 3 days. So that's great in the positive direction. It's not so great in the other direction, of losing something which I actually experience as being beneficial for myself. That being said, what I notice in myself, if I don't give that time to myself in the morning, the first thing, then normally that leads to me having a bit of a nagging sense throughout the day because I didn't do that. That's the intellectual level. I just didn't do what I promised myself I would. On a physical and emotional level, it feels like I'm less grounded, I'm less nurtured, and I'm much more prone to then somehow lose myself in activity. I think in a way I communicate to my own system, I'm not number one. I'm giving priority to something else, whatever the task at hand might be. And I think that is for me at least, I experience that as something really, really crucial. And particularly in a state like mine, it should be like super clear that this is not really negotiable. Now I'm saying not really negotiable, because if I make it absolutely unnegotiable, I can fall prey again to absolute rigidity and becoming dogmatic. So there is the dance. Do I say, you know what, today, for whatever reason, I'm not doing my full thing, but if it happened one time, now does it happen again? And from what I've seen, if it happens more than 2 times in a row, my system starts sliding, and the sliding kind of gains momentum. And then there's a whole bunch of things that I notice that happen, and pretty much all of them are not very pleasant. the question is also, is there something in me that actually wants to find an excuse? Is there something that is almost like waiting for something from the outside to happen to give me an excuse not to do the thing that I promised myself to do? No, and that only everyone can answer for himself. And also where that point is, how much or how little one can, how much slack, how much room, how much play, that everyone has to find out for himself. Yeah, one of the things that I want to mention that I notice when the grounding, the nurturing, these beautiful things do not come from, well, consciously nurturing myself. When they don't come from there, then I experience my system trying to somehow get it from somewhere else. And I would call these things coping mechanisms. And that can manifest as a million different things. No? It's a different thing for any given person. In my case, it could be eating. It could also be numbing in the form of distracting myself with some kind of activity, with work, for example, or anything, just to not be fully present. Because the moment I am fully aware, I will feel a slight discomfort, and that discomfort will actually call for action, for action in the sense of, do I actually really feel it? And then how do I respond to it? And that, in my experience, it is just not loving. It's not loving towards myself. And there's nothing really pleasant about it. Like, if I take my example of eating, if there's any form of using eating to comfort me, to try to ground me, then the experience of that meal is not actually pleasant and satisfying. And I think when that really becomes clear, if I really let myself know that, then how do I respond? And I'm not asking of myself to be perfect, but I'm sharing it here because for me it's a constant coming back, just tuning in again, tuning in again, tuning in again. And not in the sense of, oh, you screwed up again, no man, you missed the mark again, no, but just, hey, yeah, we fell for it again. Ooh. Yeah, and then just lovingly guide myself back. For me, as I said, the most important tool is meditation and my little morning routine consisting of stretching, Qigong, little breath work. That kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day. And this, I know I keep talking about it, but I feel like this is the foundation of all the rest. If I don't put that in place, then my level of awareness is not enough to really respond to whatever presents itself during the day. Then I am just reacting, because I'm not even aware enough to have a choice in the matter, really. It's just something playing out. One picture that I love, that for me makes it very clear, is I'm on a platform in a railway station and there's a train. And the train symbolizes any habit. Now, the train calls me to jump in, to get on the train. And there's a moment where I'm fully aware that I'm getting on that train. And that is a very, very interesting moment, because in that moment, there's a choice to get on. And when that choice is made, and both my feet are inside that train, there's still a possibility to get off the train. And now it's again a very interesting moment, because something internally happens that makes me not get off the train. And then the train starts moving. And then there's another possibility, yeah, because I'm in India, I'm in an Indian train, okay, one of those old school trains where the door remains open. And it's still so slow I can still jump off and let the train go. But something is keeping me on the train, and 5 seconds later the train is too fast for me to get off without injuring myself. And just a few seconds later I risk my life if I do. So I leave you with that picture, because for me those are all these emotional patterns, whatever, all these habit patterns, that there is that initial opportunity not to get on the train, and if we've gotten on the train, to get back off the train. And for me the fascinating question is, what makes us still get on and then stay on? I'd be very, very interested to hear from you how you experience this.